Hi, good evening, everyone. If you're watching, it's very last minute. I've been very busy, been on a holiday. Holiday. I've taken some time for myself, which I have not done in the last 2 years with translating everything. Sorry, I have not been around. I was having a chat with Sergio this morning. He told me what had happened, so I knew I had to get on today to translate this video for you. Now, I've watched it myself. I've spoken to him, so I'm not going to play the whole video for you guys. I'm just going to tell you what's happened. Olex Abogados presented a class action suit against the European Union to the European Courts of Justice. And we have received the reply that the court will take it no further, as there is no need, as the ruling of the EU COVID pass has no legal standing on any European citizen. So just take a breath, right? It has no legal standing. So bear in mind everything that we've been through the last 2 years and how they pushed this on us for traveling around Europe. He goes into detail to read it all. If you want me to do a detailed translation, then leave it in the comments below and I will get back to it with a bit more time. But basically what has happened is the EU, the ruling says it's just like providing the legal framework of how member states should accept certificates and passports and tests from other member states, but in no way, shape or form is this obligatory, and does it stop freedom of movement through member states. So it's saying that everyone's done it voluntarily and it doesn't hold any legal binding. Which is really, really huge. It's massive. They've sent the paperwork through, and they send it in an unpublished document. States in the reply to the class action in their ruling, says due to a previous unpublished document from 2021, that it states that it does not stop any freedom of movement within Europe. That it's obviously a different kettle of fish. Sorry, my words, I'm getting a bit tongue-tied. So it's obviously a bit different should any of the EU countries bring it in the future. If they bring it in under the same European legislation, then we've got to go against it and stop it and go against the countries themselves. But in Spain, I don't know if you remember, but they presented the class actions against it. Various different factions did. I know that La Ocratas and Olex Abogados did. And others, and they managed to stop the COVID pass in Spain under Spanish law. But then they used the European legislation or the ruling to say that it had to be done, but it didn't last very long. But the European ruling, if you read it carefully, states that they must accept certificates from other states and from other countries, but that it does not stop. It does not oblige anyone, and they cannot stop freedom of movement. So moving forwards, this is a great news. So the European Court has said there's no point moving forward with this class action, as the law itself has no legal standing. It's just a rule or a framework of how this should work. So that's a great win. Good win for freedom. Considering everything that's gone through, it's quite massive. I've just got my little points here. Someone asked in the future, if we need to travel, where can we get a copy of this document? If you do need to travel in the future and you are worried that you might need a copy of this, then just get in touch with Olex Abogados through notificados at olexabogados.es, and they will provide you with a document with your name on it stating this legislation, and that they cannot stop you from moving from one place to another, regardless of whether you have or do not have the certificates or documentations on you. They made a big fuss about this. They made a big fuss that you wouldn't be able to travel if you didn't have the EU pass. And this is the European Court of Justice, that is actually saying that no, that ruling has no, implications on stopping anyone or stopping freedom of movement, regardless of whether they have or do not have the documentation that is stated in it. This is massive. So this is really important. Class actions are really important when you're fighting the system, and they're key in showing the corruption and the holes in the system. So Sergio quotes one of his teachers. He says, if you want to pass the exam, you have to attend. I can't pass you if you don't come and join in. So, of course, how are we going to fight and show the corrupt system if we don't even show up for the fight? So the class actions are really, really important, because a few people said, well, what's the point of presenting it? Well, the point is they extended it just this year to be able to use it throughout the whole year until the end of next year without any need for further authorization. And now it's been proved that it means nothing at all anyway. So it's very, very important, and it's interesting that they sent through a unpublished ruling from the European Court of Justice, which is quite unusual, as they should publish all their rulings. We have plenty of class actions active in Olex Abogados. Please come along and join us and help us in our fight against these corrupt laws and systems that we have in place. Obviously, should any member state of the European Union come forward with their own law for an EU, one of these COVID pass or etc., then that is different. But should they use the European legislation, then they have no leg to stand on. And then obviously we'd have to go after each member state depending on what they declare. That's something to look into. But this is a great win for today. It's really good to know. And thank you to everybody who has supported all the class actions so far, and especially this one. Thank you very much. And as you know, together we are stronger, and the best is yet to come.